Oh, it's so good to be back on this server after like a month off. Last episode we got Swift Sneak, which was a great time, but ultimately I've not been on the server since, so I've not yet made use of it. Hopefully today we will. Now if you remember, the last thing we built in the base was this archery minigame where I can send off the chest, and then the targets pop up for me to try to shoot them and score points. Now I haven't made any tweaks to this yet like I was planning to. I'll get around to that at some point, I'm sure, maybe. But this is what we're going to work on today. Today we're going to be working on this structure here right next to it, where my Fletcher villagers are going to live, selling their different arrows and all of that. They all sit nicely in here, and they'll be selling me the arrows as the first of our market stalls. At the same time, I want to tear this old temporary structure down. This was just like a rough idea of there's going to be a structure here, but I do not like the look of this one bit. So I want this gone. So should we start with that? Much better. Now we actually have some space to work with. And you may have noticed that also that time lapse I collected a lot of dark oak wood. In fact, I have quite a few stacks of logs and saplings to perpetuate a farm for in the future. But I don't have any dark oak, and I want to use dark oak in this build. As you can see here in my building testing world, I wanted to make use of this dark oak to feel somewhat like the pillagers, because you know they are selling weapons, and it feels like more of a permanent structure than a standard market stall that I feel like the rest of my stalls in my base will be. I do like using a combination of dark oak and probably spruce. I'm still debating whether to use the spruce with it or not. But overall, I feel like I like this design. The roof definitely needs some work. I'm still learning how to do roofs in Minecraft. But I do like this, the stripe of colour. I was going to go for brown, but it all started to be a bit samey. So I feel like orange could be like a more vibrant colour, and I could have a vibrant colour for each of the different stalls for what they sell. I wanted to have, in the middle of the like sail, almost a canvas, another support made out of wood. And this is a rough design. I might make some changes. This is not designed to fit into the space perfectly or around my little minecart setup over here, so it might change, but overall this is the design I want to be going for. So this is what we're going to try to recreate in my base. Okay, so now I've got all the materials I think I should need for the main bulk of this building project. I think the first thing I want to do is just to fill in this hole here, like so. And now I like where these are, so I'm probably going to go and swap these out for arrows. I don't really like where these are, to be honest, because I also want to include this part of the structure. So if we go to where this lamp is, out of the gap, so put that there and line another one up right here. I reckon we try this. Let's see how this looks. Oh, 1, 2, 3, sure. 1, 2, 3. I'm just trying to get a feel for the general structure here. I don't hate it. Mark out 3 blocks above. How does that look? Yeah, it's a bit higher than the lamppost. I might need to move the lamppost depending on what else I put there. But I think that works. I think that'll look a nice kind of structure. I might want to curve the roof, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I think that works as a structure, so I reckon we'll stick with that. Okay, so now let's just put in the basic walls. And I was thinking maybe a layer of dark oak like this. Let's just put it all along. We have an issue here because the wall needs to cover up these rails basically, which will prevent the Minecraft from actually working. So we might need to restructure this a bit. So how do I want to handle this is the question. I could, does it feel bad having it 1 block lower? Like, check the score, you can't wire at eye level, which is there. Well, I know I want to have spruce planks like starting here probably, and then I want to have some behind the villagers like barrels. The workstations will go here because otherwise I won't be able to restock. The counter is right here, so for now let's just represent the counter like that. It's not going to be this, but let's represent it like that. So the villagers down there, the barrels are here. If you say this wall we retain on this, so that's your shop front, and that's just kind of a separate thing. Maybe there's stuff you can buy there. And then I can basically wall this off here like so. Could I change this around a bit track loop around. Track goes the other way, so that goes there. No. Oops, that was not intentional. So that goes up like that. We then put a block here. We quickly drop the blocks to put the powder rail back. We drop the blocks again to put the oak button back. Having no space in inventory. That then goes like that. In fact, we then have that go there, powder rail there. So now, in theory, this I can build this up like so, like that, and in theory if I push this down it gets stuck. Oh, of course it does. Okay, so I can't have that block there. Other than that, so I just need to find a way to cover that up. Yep, okay, so that's working. That works, and it'll come here and it'll stop, and you can press the button to send it off. And I can have the instructions on here. So that works. That's how I'm going to do the rail diversion. I just need to cover this up with something here. We'll work that out, I'm sure. I reckon before I get started on like the front face, I need to get the roof worked on, because that's my big concern right now, is the roof's going to look terrible. Let's get the rough shape of the roof down, and then we can take it from there on both sides. That. And then up to was the roof design I had last time, of this kind of 1-1-2 shape. I think works. But how does that look just from a shape perspective? I feel like once we add the supports, that'll look a bit less weird. Right now it feels weird having the two orange, and they perfectly line up with the lamppost, which is funny. I think that looks good overall. Just add the supports in. So you've got the these supports here. So now let's try to do something similar on the sides. So I feel like we want to have this go like one block further out on this side. I don't think it's horrible. I think these feel, I don't know, feel a bit odd, can't they? What if I link them up? That feels even more out of place, to be honest. Because that feels too, like, it's not sticking out anyway. It's not, it feels like it's not got enough width to it. We expand the roof line by 1, like so. That's a helps. What if we replace these with slabs? These here become stairs. Like so. How does that affect the shape? I mean, the white will then be showing through is an issue. So I quite like that shape. It's just how do I then cover it up when you've got the white bits being shown behind it. Like these two blocks specifically are a concern of mine because they need to be here for the roof to make sense from this point of view. Do we want an overhang on this roof? Do we want that roof to like go over by 1 block? How does that look? That doesn't look too bad, you know. The main thing is, obviously, then it gets thicker out here. Maybe moving that block and putting like a trapdoor in its place. What if I put just white wall there instead? What if I continue this shape? That now feels weird. That feels like separate. Like this should be going over here, but then it feels like too thick when it is here. I don't think it's just the orange wool. I feel like there's a reason for it. Like it feels like it should be coming outwards at me more. I don't know how to fix that. I do like that design though. I think adding these in definitely helps. And it's then how do we make a thing out of this? Do I just like, if I just have that there, I know it feels a bit cheap. That doesn't work, but then I've got to have the wall there. Maybe if I had some banners hanging down, it would sell it a bit more. I might do that. I might have some banners that like hanging down. Okay, let's grab some banners and nope. Tricking your electric causes you to fall down. Oh my goodness. Causes you to fall downstairs. Ladders, that's the word, is not fun. Where's I feel like. Oh, that sell. I feel like that sells it. To be honest, I feel like those 4 banners kind of just sell it's the top draping onto this side. I think that works, and that feels consistent and nice from this side. I think it looks bigger from this side as well. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I need another 3 banners to do that. Fill that in, and then go 1, 2, 3. There. I don't think it looks too bad. It's not perfect, but you know, I'm still a beginner at this whole roof thing. I don't think that looks too bad. It kind of sells the canvas effect, I feel like, with the banners. Now we just want to create the little space where the villagers go. I almost want to also, one thing I thought about doing was adding a door here. Like, it doesn't go anywhere, but you can imagine it goes somewhere. Like we had a door there, and it looks like there's somewhere they can, I reckon, fill this bottom section here of fletching cables is the next thing, because I want them to be able to restock, and I think that should allow them to, I believe. Excuse me, boys, I need to borrow your fletching tables. You'll get them back soon, don't worry. You need to borrow yours too. You'll get in your home soon, don't worry. And add these in. Let's put them at different angles so it's not like... And these are the 2 really important ones. I could add more, but I think I'm just gonna drop this off for now. Or do they not? Can you not angle fletching tables to face a specific direction? No, oh, that's annoying. Oh well. Well, we get the idea. Now, also, I'll point out, while I remember, these barrels would just make them fishermen, except when they're already locked in. So if you want to do this yourself, lock your villagers in before you put stuff like barrels in their area. Why am I using an axe to break this? I probably want to put... I need to work out what goes above them as well. Like, wow, this looks terrible, to be honest. Let's like expand this again. Like that, and then pretend the fabric doesn't exist. That looks kind of bad to me. I don't like that, because I can't knock this down, because this is actually... Well, that one's not, but that then happens. So these need to be here. Well, they could be stairs, actually, facing inwards, so it kind of is angled. That could be something. Should I try that? Maybe do the same up here, so it's kind of like that. Yeah, that looks a bit nicer, I feel like. It makes more sense now. Let's set up the front now, I reckon, is the next thing. So I guess the next question is, what do we do on the edge here? What I did in the testing world was this. I was like, did that, and the same here. Well, I don't think I would need it here on this side, because on this side it's just, it comes up to this pillar and stops. But on this one it's inset, so it feels like we need to have something here. Could it just be as simple as adding a dark oak stair there, so it feels more built in? And then the idea here is, on top of these, we'll then put dark oak trapdoors, which I believe the villagers shouldn't be able to jump out from. I've not tested this, so this could go horribly. But we do that, and never flick these. That's the thing, this is not secure in the slightest. If I flick those, we've got an issue. Then we take our hanging signs that we have here, and I believe I should just be able to do this. And I want to alternate them because I thought that was a little cool effect to do. So we have our little area we come up to, and we can see a bit of the insides, which isn't too bad. I do want to actually... Are those... Oh, I didn't realize these are solid. So if I flick... If these are... So even then, the villagers can't just walk out as easily. They have to do a jump, which I might then actually notice. That's good. Okay, put that in. Let's put in the supports. Now, do I want to add the extra carpet, effectively? So the idea was... You have your string going across like this. I liked it from above. Like, if we look at it from above, that worked. But I feel like from down here, it looks weird. I don't like it. I feel like it just looks strange to have that sticking out. So I reckon we won't do that. Yeah, I feel like this is basically the rough structure done. I want to now just make a few little detailing sections. So if I do like that, and go in. So it's just a little groove in the wall here. It just makes it a bit more visually interesting, I feel like, that way. I'm quite happy with how this has turned out, to be honest. I'm not a massive builder, so getting something that looks this good, and I'm not saying it's perfect, fully aware it's not, but I'm pretty happy with it. Do I want a fence here? I feel like a bit weird. It's just because it feels like this one's hovering a bit, can't I? That. See, this feels a bit more. While I keep going through the one that's a pain to get through. Okay, it doesn't really affect the villagers, but it just makes it feel like it's actually being supported, I guess. Yeah, that feels better. I like that. So I think it's about time we get some villagers in here to man the market stall. Before we do that, I just want to craft up some lightning rods, because the last thing I want to happen is for my villagers to become witches like I saw someone else's had in the last episode. Just as a temporary measure to keep them from turning into witches. I have a plan in the future for a more permanent lightning rod solution to prevent concerns. And now look, we're using Swiftnik, guys. I told you we were using this episode. There we go, floating lightning rods. They look odd, I don't like them being there, but it's a temporary measure until I have something better in place, and it just means I'm not going to get this struck by lightning, hopefully. So now that we've done that, we can finally move our villagers in to this fletcher stand. So the main issue we have here is they're in separate boats currently, my two fletchers. One's in this boat, and one's in this boat. So I need to find a way to get them in the same boat to make life easier. So what I'm thinking is do that, and if they break this boat, the hope is they will get into different boats. Yes, okay, that worked. If we do the same here, I want one. The hope is the librarian goes into this boat, that goes into that boat, and we merge the boats. Get in the boat. These walk into the boat. You are very cooperative, thank you. This guy, however, get in the boat. Thank you. Okay. Problem solved. We now have our these two villagers together in a boat that they'll of course have to be separated again later, but for now that's fine. And we got our two Fletcher villagers here who sell some stuff. Not the best. They've got eyes of poison, I guess. But like, I've just got these villagers, and I might get some more in the future. But for now, we've got these two. I'm going to bring them over here, and I'm going to work out where I'm going to bring them up, because I don't want to break my road. So I'm probably going to take them over here, near I've got my drop to my underground, and just dig up around here. Just grab this. Get scaffolding. We do not have the happy gas on this server yet, so this could be easier. No. Oh, that was close. That was very close. Let's drag these guys up higher. Across like this, like so. Come on. Oh, they're on the scaffolding. That's helpful. There we go. Now they're on the surface. Come on. There we go. Now up the stairs, please. Boats go upstairs. Almost. They almost got up the stairs. Come on. Why can't boats go up steps? Boats should be able to go up steps. Almost, but not quite. Okay, I'm going to have to lift them, aren't I? Where am these going? There. Okay. Who knew the hardest part about moving villages would just be moving the boat? Like, they've been actually significantly well behaved. Hey, there we go. Move that. And now I need to actually break my newly built structure. To get them into it, I have brought dirt to block them in. Okay, now in theory, I just break this boat. And then they walk into their new home. I seal the door behind them. No, I don't do that. I believe it was a plank. And they're definitely interacting with their respective tables. Look at that! They're really trying to jump out. They want out. We've got two villagers in there, selling their wares. Looks like they can't get anywhere, which is good. if I flick these trapdoors, they start wandering through my base. So I've got to be incredibly careful now that they're in. Look at the villagers are in. They look so happy in their new home. You shut the door? Shut the door? No? You don't like the door? Well, it's there if you want it. It goes nowhere, but we can pretend it goes somewhere. Okay. Okay, I'm really happy with this. I really like how the two villagers look in here, and we could definitely fit a couple more in if I get the space. Like, they don't look cramped, just the two of them. So I'm quite happy with this currently. And it feels more alive than the trading hall. If I have, imagine having more things like this over there, it feels more alive, like a marketplace, than like it's a villager trading hall you see in every Minecraft world. So I think what I just want to do now is add a few more details to make this a bit more interesting, and also keep the villagers safe. So one of the first things I want to do is just add a lantern up here. And maybe one hanging... Hello. Don't mind me. Shoop. Shoop. Just to, like, make sure that nothing spawns in here and hurts these little guys. So they've got a few lanterns. I might add some more details in there, but for starters, I want to maybe, like, hang a D. I could actually make this a sign. What should we call the shop, guys? I think we should go for that. Archer's Antics. That's what I called my episode where I was building the archery system. So it feels like it makes sense to call this Archer's Antics. Welcome to Archer's Antics. That is now the name of this fine establishment we have here. And I got the advancement for it as well. There goes. Add a bit more detail again. I might add a lectern here maybe. I'm blocking off most of my writing space at this point. I could just have instructions here. So I like this. I think it looks nicer. Maybe add like a lantern sitting down there. We could have some barrels piled up here as well, maybe. I mean, it might not work because the barrels also used as decoration. We have that there. Oh, I don't think so. I don't want that. Also, I do like these lamps being here. It's funny they line up exactly the orange. I don't think they distract really from the building massively. I think they kind of work and it fits nicely. So I'll leave them there for now. I might change that. One thing I think I might want to do is just fix these. So let's fix the lamps quickly while we're here. So maybe we should remove this connection altogether. That, and then remove that one. So get rid of this. As I can, so I can link these up above the system like this. And they don't properly line up, but that's fine. I can just do something like that, and that's good enough. Like, it will look fine. I wish chains could bend, but they can't, so I'll just do that. Yeah, I think that looks good, and it's nice lit up. We shouldn't have any risk of them getting killed. On this server, we do have the armor stand statues data pack, so I can go and set up different armor stands and make them look. You can also attach. Is this locked? What? Why can't I break the armor stand? There we go. So I can do stuff like that, but I can also attach items to them. I would like to use the armor stands to add a bit more detail to the stalls. So the first thing I will do is actually create a pot. How do I make pots? That's the question. I actually know how to make them. Bricks. And then how do you add a sherd to it? Do you say that add them afterwards? How do I then add a sherd to it? Is that... No. Add the sherd. So make a pot. Can I then... How do I add a... I should really know this. How do you add sherds to a pot? Okay, give 1 second. Okay, so a quick Google later. Apparently you have to have a bunch of sherds. So can I not... what happens if I place this and break it? I want to like smash it. That is going to be the bricks back. Can I replace a brick with a sherd? Does it work like that? If I do 4 and I add a... Ah, there we go. So now it's got a sherd on one side. This is my silk picture. That's be fine. That's how that works. Okay. Well, you learn something every day. Yeah, there we go. So I've got that facing outwards. It's not an art. It's not like a bow, which I prefer, but it's something. And I want to take an armor stand, and we're gonna show the arms. Arrow in that hand. Okay, I don't think that looks too bad. We've now just got a... I could probably add more later, but it's kind of a start. I'm testing out the arm stand more, getting my head around it, and we've got a, like... It looks like it's a pot full of some arrows that I've got sticking out there. And that was all done using the armor stand mod, and they're all kind of bundled in here now, holding these arrows. Well, not mod, I said mod, it's a data pack, I believe, but still. It's done using the armor stand data pack, and they're kind of like held here. So yeah, I think that's a nice little detail, and I think overall that is this build done now. I've added a few extra details, I've added a sign. I'm quite happy with this. As someone who's would not count himself as a builder, I think this doesn't look half bad, and I can add, when I want to kind of make tweaks to these, I can then add a lectern here with a couple of signs explaining how the game works for people to play. But there's one more thing I want to work on before we finish up this episode, and that's redecorating this archery minigame. Because right now it's made out all out of oak, which isn't a problem. I'm intentionally having a mix of woods throughout, and that's kind of because I want a variety, and I also want it to be like, yeah, well, the villagers kind of cobble together what they can with what they've got, so they won't all be the same kind of wood. It'll be different wood that they had and all that. So I don't want it to be like all the same wood, but I want kind of this to tie in with that build, as they are meant to be connected. So I reckon we probably want to rebuild all of the oak parts here out of dark oak, and I do have the materials to do that. So I reckon we should get started with that as a just quick time lapse of redoing what we did 2 episodes ago. Let's go. Much better, don't you think? Now these two match up much nicer. Dark oak and dark oak. I'm very happy with how this looks. I actually think I prefer in dark oak than I did in oak, so that works. I also made a few tweaks to the redstone behind the scenes. So once the game starts, we get a nice little chime. Not actually that nice, but we get a chime telling us that it started. And then if we score a point, we get a little ding to know we've hit the target. And we've got a point for it, or more specifically, we know we've got multiple points because here we've got the observers and a piston pushing them together that will stay on for as long as the pulse stays on, and the different targets now have different pulse lengths they give out, which means they can give out different points, as each tick of these observers will give you an extra point. So now if you were to say spam the accuracy ones as quickly as possible, you wouldn't get as much points as if you also were hitting the popping up targets. And I've still a few tweaks I need to make here in future episodes, like adding the instructions and everything. But that is about all we have time for today. I am very happy with our progress. I think this Fletcher's stand, whatever you call it, archery market stall thing, I think it's looking quite good. I'm happy with it as someone who would not class themselves as a builder. I think this looks pretty good and fits in with my base. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye everyone.